All right, welcome to part three. We're going to start talking about color. And went ahead and finished the second rock using the same techniques as the second video. So what I did to these two, I'll apply to everything. Apply to that, apply to the water, apply to everything else. But for now, let me start blocking in just a tiny bit of color, just to show you guys how that next phase gets sorted out. Um, Basically, so the background, there's a trick I like to do actually, and I'll show you right now. So because everything's so broken out into different layers, right? My light, my shadow. What I like to do is take maybe Jamie Lannister, and whatever color the rock is, I like to make the opposite color, a rich opposite color, the shadow. So the rock is kind of warmish, so I might do like a rich blue. Whoops, got to click on that and click on this button here to lock that layer. And just kind of do like a rich underpainting that's kind of purple. I might vary the color up. I might go here to color dynamics. And the hue jitter, saturation jitter, and brightness jitter, like if you turn brightness jitter up, look what happens to the brush. You see how it does a jitter? It's basically jittering the brightness. Saturation is the same. Hue is the same. Hue changes the color. So if you turn the hue jitter up, it'll just kind of be rainbowy. Which is kind of cool actually, because what it allows you to do, and now I'm going to Khal Drogo, turn color jitter on again. It allows you to kind of just get like some loose shenanigans in there. Khal Drogo's good for blocking in stuff. Jamie's kind of nice too. If you turn off texture, Jamie can be really nice and blendy. But for this part, I'm not trying to be nice and blendy. I'm trying to make a rich au jus. Turn color dynamics back on. Get some rich underpainting colors. Same goes for the highlight layer. I can lock that layer. I'm going to do a little bit of lighter version just so it stays kind of sticking out a little bit. And get some Khal Drogo in there. Some Ned Stark. Ned Stark I often use for blending, but in this case, especially if you turn the jitter on. And basically, just make sure whatever it is that you do underneath, it's vivid, really vivid. And that's going to come into play later, and I'll show you an example. On my blog, a few down here, there's this painting I did a while back, and all the rich reds that I put underneath showed through in the end. And that's kind of the goal, is to get a feeling for all these like rich, juicy reds that kind of, peep out. And, it's a thing that makes you look good. Remember, the goal is not to be good. I don't know if that's good or why that's good, or if someone thinks I assume people think it's good. But it definitely makes you look like you're good. And that's the whole point, to give the appearance of goodness at art. Oh yeah. And now I'm not worried about the color exactly. A lot of people can't do this technique, because right now it's not the right color, so they have too much fear in their heart because they're cowards, and they can't handle the painting being this color for very long because it's just too gross. And I feel you, but tough it out. Try to tough it out. I'm going to make this one, whoops, a darker color real quick. Color jitter that. Take the color there, again with Jamie. Incidentally, this is Jamie Jones uses this brush. It seems like quite a bit. Go back into underpainting. Yeah. Oh shit. Now you can start to see how all that groundwork, making all those tough decisions and spending so much time on the shapes is going to pay off. You can probably already predict how that's going to pay off. Because now I'm just like, see how free I'm allowed to be now? You could not be this free if you were drawing it while you were doing this to it, which is why we're breaking it up into pieces. Now, this is unnatural for a lot of people. They don't, and this is not art to a lot of people. They're like, why? You're ruining art for me. You're breaking it down into this methodical process, and it's ruining my art mojo. Like, this is not what painting is supposed to be. And to those people, I say, okay, do whatever you want. I'm just telling you what a lot of people who make awesome shit do. But if you don't want to do that, just do whatever you want. Okie doke. So got that blocked in. I'm going to block in the rest really quickly. So for the water, turn that color dynamics on. It is just, so there's some, yeah, there's some yellows in there. I think that's the, I'm kind of looking for the hidden color, you know? And I think in this case, there's some yellow oranges. Because you see those little bit of yellows that are kind of making their, rearing their ugly heads? And then I got some Freeman in here. Freeman's making an appearance finally. Freeman is a nice textury brush. Lock that bad boy in. Just because those subtle colors in there. I might even throw some McNulty's in here because I want more variety, and I feel like that color is, it's alright, but it's a little bit sickly. Yeah, it just needs a little more, that color needs a little more green. And you know what? I'll go down here to Mixer Brush Tool, pull in some Ned Stark right out the gate. Oh, Ned Stark. That blendy motherfucker. Oh, wait, I'm going to turn off Sample All Layers because it's, oh, wait, what? Oh, whoa. There's secret other colors down there. Okay, I'm going back to regular brush to cover that up because I was pulling some white. Weird. I don't know how that happened. Okay, bring those back. Again, got to stay organized. Now look at, I got some purples, I got some oranges. Are any of them the color of this water? No. Are we scared? Yes, I'm very scared. I'm frightened to my core of what's happening right now. But just work through it. Work through it. Again, those little bits of color, when it'll pay off later. I'll show you another painting where I use this technique. All these purple bits that show up underneath here, it's because this whole thing was bright purple and awful to look at for a really long time. And as it goes back, it gets cooler, so I might even mimic that a little bit. How dare I get even remotely close to the color that it is. And then this right here, see that foreground. Man, that's confusing because it's got some reds, it's got some Khal Drogo's turn on color dynamics again. Come on, Jamie. There's some purples in there. Now I'm not doing the opposite thing, really. I'm just kind of painting what I think it is. That mountain back there, oh, that one's easy. That underneath color is some Apple. Proposal. Now again, all that light on shadow shape, oh, I'm going to just have a party up back there. I have a party back there. But right now, and I see that there's some slight reds coming in from the top. So every color that I sense a little bit of, I just go blazow with it. If I even get a fucking whiff of it, I just balls out with it. And sky's always tricky because, you know, it's just sky, so you don't know what to do with it. But how about red? Okay? I know you guys are like done. You're like, this is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. I know it is. Turn on color dynamics again. What is the color I'm feeling in that sky? How about some greens? Hells yeah. I feel a little bit of green. Where's some Jamie? Get in here. I'm trying to stay horizontal to stay true to kind of what's happening. And then the white of the water, there's all kinds of stuff going on there. I'm going to keep it on the light side, but just to get something in there. Yeah, this is a beach on Mars. You know, though, that green isn't honest. That's not an honest representation of what's there. There's actually oranges and reds in there, so that's the color I should be amping. And there, what do I sense is in the essence? You know, it's some purples. The insides of those waves are, oh yeah. Oh, that's just terrible, right? Jesus, what is even going on here? Yep. And then I'm going to put some greens in there just to be horrific. Now I just said, you know, fuck all, fuck all. You know what? It's some purples, really, actually, that need to make an appearance up in here. And this has that, you know, that bit right there, but that's actually pretty rich orangey red. So, yeah, all that is kind of getting some rich orangey reds. All right. So now what, you say, after I've done all that? Well, now you make another layer on each layer, and you start adding the true color that it is. But not before you've done that whole black and white thing that we did to every single thing. So because it's only done with that top part, those rocks that are right there, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make another layer. I'm going to make it white just for instructional purposes right now, just to kind of give me some just respite from the color madness. I mean, I showed you all that stuff because I wanted you to show you how I would do it. But I wouldn't have started doing that color stuff until I had done the shapes on everything. I would have done all the shapes in black and white. Would have spent several hours designing those shapes. Okay, so now that I have undercolors for both of those things, here's this layer, right? I'm going to make another layer on top of it. And here's where Marlowe comes in. Marlowe's a great modeling brush. And this is where you start. And Marlowe, in case you're wondering, right here, fifth one down, number 25. Or that's the size of the brush, 25. It's not number 25. And I'm going to start grabbing that brown color. Now, on the picture, the colors aren't accurate. They're always dullened. But I'm guessing it's a rich brown. And this is the first time I'm going to say, okay, what color is that actually? And Marlowe is great for soft blending. And everything else has been like harsh and chaotic so far. So it's nice to do a little bit of Marlowe underneath to get some of that softness. But in this photo, unfortunately, so much is lost in that color area that I kind of have to like maybe make up these forms a little bit and say, all right, that's maybe coming around like that, and that form is like that. And it's okay, I'm going to lose a little bit of that stuff to the shadow. But now, because I'm painting on a separate layer right on top of that underpainting layer, man, you will see later how, and you'll see now how awesome that is. Like now, if I want to just take some Khal Drogo, right here, Khal Drogo, and erase out, look at what I got underneath. I could just do a loose Khal Drogo, and I'm going to get some like craziness coming out underneath. You know, I got that subtle brown, but if I erase out, look at all the craziness that's happening underneath. Whoops. What's that doing? Get out of here. So now on the layer that I want to stay on, why is this color so whack? Oh, because it's erase. Now the color that I want to stay on, I'm just trying to match it exactly. So okay, maybe it's that. See what's happening? You see the magic? I'm like almost done. All that set up so that you could make a few fresh strokes. Now I'm not almost done, but I'm gonna go in and like I'm doing with Marlowe now, and I'm gonna go in and just like attend to all the subtle changes in color. Like notice right here that there's like tiny little mounds of shapes and lights on the tops of shapes, and it's slightly shadowier on the sides, and it curves around and gets bluer. You see that little bit of blue right there as it turns around the bottom? So we're not out of the woods yet, but man, have we gotten a huge head start advantage in terms of how we're painting. Getting some of those blues. And I could just party here all day. I don't have anything to worry about. I feel so safe. I've created this safe little corral where I can like just party in and not have to worry about anything. I'm gonna check back in with chamichons because you want to be careful not to do too much more, because again, I'm trying to copy this style. So if you're trying to copy a style, then copy the damn style. There's a reason you liked it, and making it better than it is not going to make it better. In fact, I'll probably make it worse if I add more detail. I probably will anyway, but and even if I wanted to click some of this, if I wanted to change it a little bit, I could even pick that shadow color and not even worry about it because it's already on its own mask, right? I'm painting right on it too. I'm not like worried about, you know, messing it up or anything. I don't give a shit because I can't mess it up. The layer's locked. And Marlowe's always great for sculpting. And you see all the like subtle changes of value that are happening as I'm turning down. I'm trying to really focus on what are these value changes. And I'm starting with this because this is the focal point of this whole image, this rock. I see it's a little grayer there. I'm going to take some Tyrion Lannister. Tyrion Lannister, I'm going to gray that up, is great for, and I feel like I want it to be a little richer. I'm going to actually change my layer mode to overlay. And if you have a color and the layer mode is set to overlay, it kind of does like a little bit of richness in the color. It's kind of nice. But don't think you're done because you have these shapes sorted. You still want to go in there. I'm on overlay still. Switch back to normal. You still want to go in there and model that next level of detail. Everything I'm doing is a flick, you notice too. It's like a flick and an undo. My thumb is hovering on the undo at all times. And I want a blingy payoff. What if I just, yeah, that might, something like that might be in order, even though it's not there. And then a little bit, I see it's a little bit lighter on the top of there, so I might just go, bam, oh, yeah, nope, a little darker. If any of you are surprised at the anal retentiveness and the time spent loving, then that's good. That means you're not spending enough time loving on a painting. You'd be like, well, at this rate, You spent an hour on this and you haven't done anything. I'm like, I know. It takes longer to make it look like we spend less time on it. At the end, you'll be like, oh, it's so fresh. Looks like you just freaking whipped it out of your butt. No. It takes forever. Oh, no. I want to make that 20%. I hit the 2 button just now on the keyboard, so I could just make a lighter. I'm going to go in and bring in some McNulty. I'm forgetting about McNulty. This guy. Oh, I'm still on 20%. Generally, I don't want to be painting in washes. Do you know what I mean? Paint alla prima. And what alla prima means is something. I don't know. Something in Italian. And something. So, but whatever. Paint with solid opaque color. That's what alla prima means. Paint with solid opaque color, right? And I'm going to add a couple more of these shadows here that I decided. Oh, and now I can go back into the shadow anytime, and I could decide, you know what, I'm going to take some Tyrion Lannister, and actually, this whole thing gets lighter towards the top. Click that, click off of it here for a second so I get some. Yeah, I can keep that color. Make it lighter without making it, keeping it sort of purpley. But I'm not happy the fact that I can't see any detail in this shadow. I'm going to just have to fake it a little bit, and it's a matter of changing it percentages. I'll have to pick the brown, I guess. I'll pick the brown. Yeah. I feel like I want to feel a little more of that form even in the shadow. And the shadows are a little more purple. And you know what I could do? This is on a separate layer. I could add a layer mask to that, go in with some Khal Drogo, and experiment erasing out of it. Erase out or play back in. I mean, whatever you want. And that highlight color, I mean, it's the same as it, but I wonder if I could juice it. I wonder if there's something to be done to make it even better. But I could say that, generally speaking, maybe I could live with that and move on to the next thing. So there I did that one thing. And now if you decide the whole thing when you're done is too saturated, whatevs, go to the whole thing, do Control U again, and just move the sliders till it matches the value a little better, or the colors and values. All right, so this one took a little longer than the first one, and we made no progress, and this is kind of the way it's going to go. From now on, we're going to do less and less with each video, because as you keep going, things become more and more specific, more and more tedious, and more anal retentive on everything. But at the same time, trying to keep it fresh, so that if you zoomed into it, at every level, it would just be crisp, beautiful, fresh mark making. Colors are rich, and all this expression is due to the fact that I'm super anal retentive about the way I organize things, the way I put down layers, and the process in which I do it. All right, I'll see you next time.